So,
We're fighting. Sunrise Extra hasn't even started and we're
having
arguing.
a bickering session, Brenda and I.
Drew, you're not in a good mood. I don't
should
like
be.
it when you're not in a good mood.
Not happy with my performance today on the actual Sunrise television show.
It was fine.
Thanks. That's just easy to say, isn't
He's
it?
pouting.
I'm not pouting.
It's
I'm
kind of
reflecting. I'm reflecting.
Kind of pouty.
It's a Friday. We should be in great moods on a Friday.
So let's restart. 3, 2, 1. Welcome to the stream.
Woo!
Good morning, everybody.
Baby.
Happy Friday.
Not working.
Snap out of it.
Not working. But I am happy about talking, or I am happy to talk about. See, it's continuing. I'm happy to talk about this topic because I have a lot to say on the topic of traffic tickets.
Yes, you do.
This all began this morning because Chris McGinnis, our traffic reporter on Sunrise for many years, put together a great little story about the addition of more traffic cameras to the city of Portland. And Portland has data that suggests they really do help in terms of getting people to slow down.
Absolutely.
Once you get hit by a ticket in that area, you don't forget it. And if you go through that area often, you usually will at that point start to slow down. I think people are actually good at noticing them when they see them. Like,
100%.
Oh, that's one of those traffic
yeah.
You look for 'em.
Yeah. So anyways, from that, we had a poll question, and here it is. We asked our viewers this morning on the TV show, have you ever, even one time, gotten a ticket from a traffic camera? I wasn't sure how this would look, but we did see in the end more than half of our viewers saying, I actually have gotten a ticket from a traffic camera in the past. 56% of you almost saying yes to that question. Congrats to the 44% of you who have never had to deal with one of these traffic camera tickets. I just had one this year in Sherwood.
Just one?
This year.
On 99 or some other road?
Exactly.
On 99.
I mean, it's a pretty large freeway area. I guess not a freeway, but a highway nonetheless.
Yeah.
It's a busy
state
road.
highway.
They haul down that.
4 lanes in both directions at some points. Yeah. And I was coming up to the busy intersection of 99W and Tualatin Sherwood Road.
Okay.
So they make that turn.
Yes.
So that's one busy road onto another.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we're going about, I think the speed limit there, I know it is now from that ticket, 55 miles an hour. You can go 55 on that stretch.
Yes.
I had slowed down to 12 miles an hour because I was going to make the turn onto Tualatin Sherwood Road.
12 miles an hour.
I know that because the ticket said 12 miles an hour. But the problem was, as I was making that 12-mile-an-hour turn with no one in the crosswalk, no cars coming, it was all done very safely. I was looking both ways before making the turn. Cars had just gone through the light. I started to make the turn. It was yellowish, now reddish. And as I hit that crosswalk, there goes the light. And on I go.
I hate that.
And the judge told me, he goes, first of all, 12 miles an hour is probably a little bit faster than you think it is. I said, I understand. He said, I have in the past sometimes thrown out these tickets because I understand that you made that turn with looking both ways before you made it. You slowed all the way down to 12 miles an hour from 55. He goes, but I have to draw the line somewhere. Yesterday, he said, I threw out a ticket where the driver did the same thing you did at 3 miles an hour. 3 sounds a lot better than 12. I said, you're right. He goes, so I dropped that ticket. I'm not dropping yours. I said, I understand. But that was my little story. I paid the fine. But he also told me that day in court, these fees are higher these days. Mine was $240.
Yeah, tickets have gotten the price of what car payments used to be.
He dropped it to $200, thankfully. But he said it's high now because there is an officer every morning who starts his shift by going through all the tickets that come through these traffic camera systems.
Somebody's got to look at it.
Verify, was this a legit ticket or not? Should the camera have gone off? Can I identify this person? Is the picture good? There's a whole lot of work that goes into it before they send it out. And he said, we're paying someone to do that, so you're paying the fee.
You are keeping Sherwood's finest busy.
I believe the judge's story on that, but okay,
You don't think so?
I
don't think that's, I think there's numerous reasons of why these.
A liar.
Wow.
I'm going to call him out.
Wow.
No, because there have been other stories done that one of the reasons these ticket prices are high also is you have to come up with a price where they think it will substantially impact people's behavior. Now, clearly, if you put a camera up and it issues tickets, somebody on staff has to go through the process of the tickets. So that's why I call it a BS on that.
I'm telling you, there's a traffic camera. There are a couple of them on Grand Avenue heading north. And those things, I never did get the actual citation because I went through on a green light and it took my picture. Sometimes they malfunction.
Right, I've had that.
And I was like so hot by, I was like, what?
I've had that.
And those officers will go through all those and they'll immediately toss out those malfunctioning tickets.
Right.
But honestly, Rod, if there's an officer on the street that pulls you over and hands you your ticket, they're done with this process. until you show up in court. They don't do anything more with that ticket. The officer's not going to go back and review
There's
it.
still time involved. The officer has to go to court. It's part of having a company, and you have things your employees have to do, period.
Well, this was a job that didn't exist before the traffic cameras came into play.
Well, if you don't want it to exist, don't put the goddamn cameras up.
Whoa, wait a minute.
Wow.
No, they wanted to.
Seriously.
They put the
Fire.
they put the traffic cameras up to curb people from speeding in these high-speed zones.
Yes.
To try to get people to slow down.
Yeah.
To try to prevent accidents from happening in these high accident areas.
Yes. I'm all for that.
It's not a perfect system. The system requires a human being on the other end to go through all the tickets every morning.
As do most things.
Mr. Hill, when was the last time you got a ticket?
But you
of any
added a
kind?
job, nonetheless. You did add a job there. You added a job of someone having to go through all these tickets, throw half of them out, mail half of them away, make sure that they go through these videos and pictures. So there is
You're not gonna
work
change his
involved
mind.
outside of the actual ticket.
Well, of course there is. Anytime you add something, there's work involved.
So should the officer say, hey, can you come in 2 hours early tomorrow and do this real quick for nothing?
I don't get the point of any of this. You have a company. You decided we're going to put up a traffic light.
Can I make this the whole show?
Obviously, somebody has to go through the tickets.
Yes.
I just think that's a frivolous part of the story. I guess is
Okay,
my
Howard Wright. Good
All right,
morning,
Howard, come
sir. I'm going to just break up the boys right now. He says, my ticket was cut in half because I had no priors. The officer who took my call from Newport reduced it, so I never even appeared. And then Jennifer Taft said, ooh, Rod is frisky. Yes,
Well,
he is.
Well, he took the Lord's name.
Start. I'm just kidding.
I did do that. I should apologize for my language on that. That just kind of came out. Yeah. But ticket prices have really gotten, that's another topic, how expensive tickets have become. And I get the argument that you want to make it so people don't want to get a ticket.
Yes.
But for some people that get a ticket, it's become the point, it's a real financial hardship when you've got to come up with $200-300.
'Tis true, don't speed then.
Yeah.
Well, but I get that. But it, but
When was
but
the
it is-
last time you got a ticket of any sort? Because I feel like this is a sore spot with
No,
you.
I don't know. I probably, if I don't,
You can't even remember.
maybe 4 or 5 years ago.
Just on principle?
4 or 5 years ago.
And how
yeah.
much was it?
I did
Do you
get I did get a a stoplight ticket
Mm-hmm.
once from the traffic cams. It was in the Hollywood district. Same thing as you. I kind of thought, I remember to this day looking up and still seeing yellow on that light while I went through, but the camera disagreed and shot me. So I went to traffic court, which was an interesting experience in itself, because you're hearing all these stories. I remember feeling sad for the judge, because the judge has to sit here and listen to all these people's crybaby
Excuses,
stories, right?
yeah.
And I think that ticket back then, this was before prices really went up. I think it was, and the judge reduced it. I think it was like $60 I had to pay.
Oh my gosh, I remember the very, very first ticket I ever got. I was 16 years old. I was driving what we knew in our family as the tuna boat. It was a big green Chrysler, and I was 16. I had barely had my license, and my parents said, do not drive out of McMinnville tonight with your friends. But of course we did. We drove out, and as I was coming back through, I think, Lafayette or just, east of there, and I had a car full of girls,
Yes.
and I got a ticket outside McMinnville. And I knew I was going to be in huge trouble. Huge. And I was like, I just cut the night short. I think I left my friends in the car because I had to go confess right then. And I went up and I woke my parents up and I said, I got a ticket. I was just bawling. And my dad, God bless Herm, felt sorry for me and thought I had punished myself enough, and I didn't even get in trouble.
Wow.
That was my very first ticket, though. I learned my lesson.
Yeah.
I have a few ticket stories, but I don't want to dominate the conversation.
I think that, Sheila writes, coming home from visiting my son and using our Garmin. What's that?
GPS.
The GPS thing, okay. It sent us on a different route because of a traffic, sent us across a bridge, which you had to pay to cross. We didn't know it until they sent us a bill. So one of those toll bridges where they take your cameras if you don't have the pass, whatever.
Oh, I see.
But that is I guess that's one of the things about this. You really don't know for sure if you're going to get that ticket until it arrives in the mail, right? All these traffic ticket type things. Yeah.
Oh, that's hilarious. Renee Robertson, good morning to you. She says police here in Panama drive around with their lights flashing all the time, so I never pull over if they're behind me.
Wonder why they do that. That's
I don't
weird.
know. That is weird.
Oh, all right. Michael Garrison says, come on, guys. Someone has to pay the camera's salary. Laugh out loud. All right.
I mean, there are two really bad feelings that you can get while driving the car. The one is that feeling when the officer does get behind you with their lights flashing, and you're thinking for a moment like, this isn't for me.
Oh, no.
This isn't for me. Oh, gosh, he's right behind me. He's not going around me. This is for me.
I've made 7 turns, and he's made the same 7 turns.
Absolutely for me. That's a sinking feeling. But then also that traffic camera light going off. You know, whether you're going through the intersection, you get hit with it, whether you were speeding through a speeding zone and got hit with it, but like that feeling of, it's so bright.
Oh, yeah, it is. White light.
You're actually blinded for a millimeter of a second. It's like, boom, and I'm like, and you're like, you probably have that silly face every time.
I know, right? They are not flattering shots.
Yeah. It is a raunchy. And I do feel like that. I've never been, I haven't gotten a handful of speeding tickets in my life. But every single time I did something wrong.
Me too.
You know, I mean, I just knew like, well, okay, here's the price for my behavior, basically.
Right. I was never, well, you said a moment ago that you thought you were going through a yellow, and the camera said you were going through a red.
Well, I mean, to this day, I explained that to the judge, and he was really nice. The arresting officer was in the courtroom that day as well, and then they took the time to show me there was more than just the one
view
picture, and they showed me the different views, and they went into the angle of what the front of the car was doing, which told the officer that I was applying brakes pretty hard at that time. And they went through this. They were all very, very nice. And at the end, I went, yeah, okay, all right.
No, the ticket I got from Sherwood showed me with pictures, you know, how fast I was going. The last moment the light was yellow, and where I was on the street when that light was yellow, and then it showed me how fast I was going when the light had turned red and where I was, and like, I mean, we're talking about fractions of a second. I was going 12 in both cases, before the red and after the red, but you could see it was like, darn it, my front bumper was in the crosswalk at yellow, but like only my front tires had gotten past before that thing went red, and you know, it was.
Oh my God. Here's some more comments from the stream. Brittany, good morning to you. She says, I was flashed by a van camera last month going 40 in a 35 down a hill, and I was coasting.
See,
5 minutes, 5
miles per hour.
5 miles over.
Is that true? They gave you a ticket for going 5 miles. Have you gone to court yet about that?
Seems a little,
I've never heard of anyone getting a ticket for going 5 miles an hour over the speed
usually
limit.
They're a little more lenient than that.
Some slack. Mike Hassett says, easy guys, make love, not tickets. Ride your bike.
Oh, there you go. Sabrina says, I call them expensive photo shoots. Yeah, good way to put it. I was in Selwood on a beautiful sunny day, had the top off to keep myself and my son happy. We were listening and singing along to Josh Turner with the sun warming us and the wind in our hair. Boy, this sounds beautiful.
It's a great story.
Yeah, there were no other cars around, and we were going 45 in a 30 zone, and flashes went off. I told my son that we would have some expensive photo memories of a beautiful moment, and sometimes it was worth it. So apparently that was such a great time that she's okay with
I like that spin.
Well, she's being positive.
Yeah, there you go.
Julie Wyatt says, I've never had a ticket from a traffic camera. I've had one ticket in 43 years of driving.
Oh, good for you.
That's a great record.
How many tickets do you think if I had to guess, I would say I'm probably somewhere around 7 in my life for tickets of some sort. Yeah, probably somewhere around 7.
I think I've had 3.
3, something like that, yeah. So you're a very good driver.
I don't want to go down this road.
Oh, I
Have you had more than 10, would you say?
Oh my God.
I haven't kept track.
Okay.
I don't keep track of them like that. I can tell you, I could give you a statistic that I'm not sure I want to come clean with.
Oh, come on, do it. It's
come on.
extreme.
Come on,
I'm super
I had bad foul language on the show for crying out loud.
That was disgusting, actually. All right, here's what I'll tell you. I've had my license suspended in 2 different states.
2 different states. Wow. Yeah, close up. Here we go. Please continue, Mr. Carney.
Because of the number of tickets I got in each of those states. One being the state I grew up in, Pennsylvania. One being the state I moved to 2 years ago, Oregon. Both states at one time or another said, you have to stop driving for a little bit because of your excessive speeding.
If you get like 3 tickets, something like that, in what, a 6-month period, they rack up points, right?
I think it was 4 in an 8-month period.
Oh, okay.
Last time I got here.
All right.
The last time I got my license suspended here.
Okay.
And didn't one of our former colleagues drive you to work in the morning?
When offered, I accepted.
Okay.
But this goes back several years. Okay.
Several.
Early 40s. I've grown up a lot since then. But this was like 2015, and I had a license suspension for 30 days. And I had to tell work.
That's tough, right?
And
that's tough.
and then I actually, it was a summer, so I said, I'm going to punish myself by driving my bike to work.
You rode your bike in from Westland?
Yeah, from Westland in the morning at this god-awful hour, and I left my house at 3 and got here usually at 4.
Wow.
Yeah. It's not easy because there are a lot of hills, and
Yeah.
I wasn't in that much shape at the time. My sister, when I told her I was doing, she goes, and then I said, and then I drive it home in the afternoon. She goes, that anyone that watches your show and recognizes you on that bike absolutely thinks you got a DUI. She goes,
Really?
I said, and then I told her, I don't know about that. And she goes, no, every time I see a grown man who clearly is going to or from work on their bike, I assume they had their license suspended because of DUI. I said, it's different.
Portland.
I said, it's different here in Portland.
Totally.
I said, Kristen, you don't. It's not like, maybe it's like that in New Jersey.
Yeah, Jay rides his
but
bike.
here people ride their bike to work all the time.
Embarrassing the family is what your sister was saying.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Wow. So has it been quite a while now, I may ask? Has it been over a year since you've had a ticket?
Well, I told you about that ticket I got in Sherwood this year.
Oh, just that was the first one in quite a while, though?
Yes, although I
That
think I
wasn't
got
speeding,
one. I got one early pandemic in Lake Oswego.
So it's still a bit of a hobby, in other words.
Why can't you drive
But I do
properly?
that is, I can tell you that's 2 in the last 5 years, because they had fallen off. You had that 3-year period. You have to go 3 years without getting a ticket for a ticket to fall off for an insurance purpose.
Right, I mean, that's the big catch for me.
I'm stating that terribly.
Rate.
If you can go ticket-free for 3 years, any tickets prior will no longer show up in some sort of insurance.
Right, so your insurance rate goes down by
Yes.
theory. Yeah.
My insurance was way up there, obviously, after the suspension. I went clean for 3 years and it came down. But I did get these 2 tickets over the last 2 years, so we'll see.
Doesn't your wife get mad at you because the insurance rates are going up?
And I hit a woman in the parking lot on Christmas Eve at the Market of Choice.
With your car. I mean, your car hit her car.
Yes.
You didn't walk up to slug her or anything.
Not a physical altercation. My car hit her. She was parked, not moving. In fact, in the store. I was driving, moving, parking.
This is not funny.
Why would you laugh at something that's so not funny?
And did
I think it's funny.
hit somebody else?
Continue.
I hit Wayne Haverly's car one time here at KGW.
I mean somebody else.
In the KGW lot?
Why do you should clear with me first if we're going to talk about certain stories before we talk about it in front of everyone here.
It's not coming back to me. I haven't thought about that in years.
That was years ago. That was probably 15 years ago.
Oh my God, you.
Person on a bicycle.
Oh, jeez.
Got out of my car.
Boy.
God.
All right.
They were
This
not.
is
Thankfully,
taking a
honestly,
dark turn.
we're laughing
Should we-
because that person was not
fine,
even
and you were
remotely
lucky.
hurt. Thankfully.
This is nervous laughter right here. Jack is chanting "Lock Drew up."
Lock Drew up.
Eileen says, in my 20s, I got ticketed for speeding like 10 times.
She learned
and
her
I
lesson,
did
yeah.
learn my lesson.
Wow. Susan Griffin says, often, this is good information, there's a police van on Halsey, and I just stay good every day just in case. So are they sitting there maybe with their own little manual setup, shooting radar, I wonder? Okay.
I'm reflecting on whether or not I wanted to admit everything I've already admitted on the show right
too
now.
late.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I'm too flippin' cheap to keep doing the same expensive thing over and over again. So you're not cheap at all.
Sometimes stupidity outweighs cheapness.
I've never reached that point.
Yeah, well, your brain works better than some others.
Diane Shaw says almost 70 and 2 tickets ever.
Wow.
Ever.
One
Good for
was
you.
the traffic camera.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so the other thing I learned this year while in the courtroom in Sherwood is that, if that's your first offense, if you get hit with one of these traffic cameras, it's your first offense. Most of these cities in Oregon, and I'm assuming maybe Southwest Washington as well, they'll let you do the traffic school option.
Yeah.
You take it's an online course, you take the course, and it's hopefully again serves as a deterrent because you still have to give up 2 hours of your day.
Right.
But they will completely wipe that ticket off your record. So it won't impact insurance, it won't be on your record, and you can move
big.
forward.
Yeah.
You don't have to, yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Jeff Lucas says as long as you wear those bike athletic team uniforms, and I don't assume DUI. All right, good to know. Mm-hmm. Good to know. Let's
Can I ask you 2 a question?
Yes,
Because I'm
sure.
curious. Have you ever gotten, and this is, well, I don't know.
I'm going to go ahead and say
This
yes.
isn't correct, but it isn't correct. But there are many jobs you can do in life that in certain instances you get a bit of a free pass. And being on TV can be one of those jobs. Have you ever gotten out of a ticket you feel where the person walked up to you and they went, oh, Drew Carney, oh, Brenda Braxton? Mm-mm. No, never?
No.
And Drew, never?
I didn't say never.
Maybe.
I have. I've
Okay.
had. I don't know if they were going to give me a ticket otherwise or not, but I remember this one state trooper just like pull over and he walks up. And I was just by myself in the car. He's just doing his thing, and he kind of has his head down, punching something in or looking at something. I don't know what he was looking at, but he looks at me. He goes, "Oh boy." Oh boy. He goes, "Oh boy." He kind of shakes his head. And he goes, "What are you doing down here?" I forget where I was. I want to say I was near Salem, but like kind of deeper into Marion County.
Yeah.
"What are you doing down here?" And this is years ago. And I told him what I was doing, which I can't even remember today. But what I'll never forget is that look of, "Oh boy." He goes, "Just slow down, would you?" I said, "Sure."
That's funny.
And that was it. That was how that went.
When I was working in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, we had an anchor who told a hilarious story, and his name was Frank, and he was in Mississippi, and he was heading to Florida, and his license was still up north, and he got pulled over for speeding, and in that good old southern drawl, the guy took his license and checked his paperwork, and he goes, "Boy, you are a paperwork nightmare. Get out." Like, he didn't want to have to do it. And he just let him go.
Boy.
Yeah.
Oh, boy. Connie Stab says, only stopped a few times in my life. In the 80s, at the time, I was a cute young lady wearing a short skirt.
Oh my goodness gracious.
Oh, my.
Got off with a warning. Fast forward to a middle-aged woman. Not so easy to get off with a warning. LOL. Yeah, okay. I mean,
I'll share. I'll clean on two more things.
Okay.
One time, while driving from my home to an out and about segment years ago when I did that for the Sunlight Show, I got pulled over 2 times getting to the spot. The first time I got the ticket for speeding. The second time I showed the officer the ticket I had just gotten about 20 minutes prior, and he goes, "Those are usually supposed to make you slow down." But he didn't write me a second one.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, that happened one time.
John also says there's a loophole. This is so true. If the car is registered to a different person and the person in the picture is not that person, you can get out of the ticket.
I've heard that, so that is apparently true. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Jennifer Taft says, spicy show.
Yeah.
Rod says a naughty word. Sorry about that. I apologize. Drew's a closet speed racer. Brenda Braxton dying of laughing. And Nina took the day off. All right.
Yeah, she did. Jennifer also says Drew is born to be wild.
During that 18-month period where I got 4 tickets in 18 months, one of them happened on 99E, coming from downtown Portland into Milwaukee, and I was trying to get to my kids' swim lesson. They were really young. I think they were like 4 at the time. They're 13 now, just to put that in perspective. And I was trying to get there. I didn't need to be there. My wife was there, but I thought it'd be cute to see the kids doing a swim lesson. So I'm racing through, the streets to get there, stupidly.
Yeah.
Pulled over. The officer comes up to the window and goes, "Any reason why you're going so fast?" I said, "Well, not a good reason. My kids are at a swim lesson. I just wanted to get there, and I didn't want to miss it, and I'm kind of late to it." He says to me, "Both my parents were killed in an accident. And the person that hit them was speeding at the time." And I was like, "Oh my gosh."
Yeah. Hard reality.
I mean,
Yeah, I understand, officer.
that is
and he
true.
said, "I'll be right back." I knew what was coming next, obviously, but so we don't always get out of the tickets.
Yeah.
Sometimes you get hit with a dose of reality.
Read this
100%.
one, please. Connie's right there in the middle.
How do you say her name?
I think I said stop.
You said stab.
You
I
must have
say
said
Stab?
You must have said Stab, because it is
did.
Connie Staub.
It is
Miller.
stop. I said
Yes.
stab. I would read that as stop. But I said stab. My apologies, Connie. All right.
And that is really the worst thing we've heard on the show all day, right? The mispronunciation.
What a Connie it
Connie
is.
Staub Miller.
All right, people, we've got to go.
All right.
It's a Friday. Hope you have a great weekend.
Yeah.
See you Monday on the stream.